We have a recall. 58 million pounds of corn dogs and sausage on a stick products recalled because wood pieces may be inside. Something I just found out too, which is amazing, is 2025. The 2025 Chinese New Year, beginning on January 29th, marks the year of the wood snake. Isn't that interesting? This year's theme include growth, transformation, and introspective, characterized by the snake's wisdom and the wood element's nurturing qualities. So that's a solid point right there that I just discovered. So, according to a Saturday notice published by the Agriculture Department's Food Safety and Inspection Service, the recall covers select State Farm corn dogs on a stick and Jimmy Dean pancakes and sausage on a stick, products from Texas-based Hillshire Brands, which is a subsidiary of Tyson Foods. Does that mean Tyson Foods owns them? What is subsidiary? A company or entity that is owned or controlled by another. Okay, so Tyson Foods controls Hillshire Brands, I'm guessing, right? I guess I could ask Google that, right? Does Tyson own Hillshire? Yes, Tyson Foods owns Hillshire Brands. Okay, got it. Okay, so the contamination problem was discovered after Hillshire received multiple customer complaints. The service notes 5 of which involved injuries. The company later determined that a limited number of these products included extraneous pieces of wooden stick with the batter. Tyson said in a corresponding announcement, adding that it opted to initiate a recall out of an abundance of caution. Okay. I don't just look directly at the story when I do these breakdowns. I look at the language. Isn't that interesting? Look, remember the band Corn? And this is a corn dog story. Look, Korn, the band, Korn, self-titled debut album. Look, the release date is less than 2 weeks away, the release date anniversary. You see that right there? Now we get a corn dog story. You want to go a little bit further? Jonathan Davis, kind of like the lead guy here in Korn, the band. Look at his birthday. 118, January 18, and Tyson Foods equals 118. His name is Jonathan Davis, right? It's kind of like the singer guy. It's the guy that sings in Korn. Look at his initials, JD, like Jimmy Dean. State Fair corn dogs on a stick and Jimmy Dean pancakes and sausage on a stick. Okay, so look at this 58. 58 million pounds of corn dogs and sausage on a stick product recalled. This 58's been hitting big with these trending stories. Pamela Anderson trending, 58 years old. Mike Gundy gets fired. College football coach, 58 years old as well. 5 months, 8 days after is it Claudia Cardinale? I think that's the name. I covered the story. 5 months, 8 days after her birthday, she dies. Now you get this 58 million with the corn dog story. Even the earthquake in the Bay Area. Look at that like interstate that's right there. 580 like 58. 5 plus 8 is 13, and corn dog equals 113. Look at that. Like 13. Notice corn also equals 58. CORN. Check that out down there. But you see 58, 5 plus 8 is 13. Corn dog 113 like 13. Even 7 plus 6 is 13. Corn dog equals 76. The recalled corn dogs and sausage on a stick goods were produced between March 17th and as recently as last Friday. March 17 was the 76th day of the year, like corn dog equals 76. I just want to give you the information. Okay, all I want to do right now is give you the information. Can you see that the article, this is the Associated Press, okay? Look at that article date, the 28th day of the 9th month, when March 17 left 289 days in the year. Look at how that March 17 lands heavy there. One more time. These items were produced between March 17 and as recently as Friday. March 17, the 76th day of the year, and corn dog equals 76. Article, the 28th day of the 9th month. March 17 leaves 289 days. 289. Isn't that amazing? I mentioned it's the year of the wood snake earlier. Check this out. Wood pieces 156. Sausage on a stick 165. Look how similar that looks, right? Sausage on a stick, wood pieces, and recalled all equal 48 in the language. Okay, you're talking, you see all 4 of the base ciphers right there. These are key words with the story, right? Wood pieces, recalled, sausage on a stick, all main things in the article, even like in the title of the article. And it's a code, it's a pattern. I'm working on another story right now. Tyreek Hill with his left knee injury. And I looked up that, he's got a pattern of these negative stories. And one I noticed in particular, I'll share it when I do the breakdown, but you get patterns and certain numbers connected with certain characters. Or, corn. We brought up the corn thing earlier with the band. Okay? Because if I think of the band Korn, I'm like, okay, debut album, right? And it's like, oh, okay, right around the corner is the release anniversary. And so, okay, we got a corn dog story, and you could probably go and look up some other stuff related to that as well. And that's how I do this, right? It's these patterns that just repeat. That's why it's good to save this stuff or have something to refer back to. And you can't really rely on that either because I got all of this stuff saved on like Google Slides or like Canva. You never know. We may lose that stuff one day, but it's good to be able to refer back to it while you can, okay? And you see how these patterns always hit. I never played that first video, huh? We'll play that first one and then we'll play the second one.
Welcome back. A safety alert tonight from a local company recalling 58 million pounds of corn dogs and sausage on the stick products. That would be the Hillshire Brands company based in Haltom City, now warning people not to eat those. Some of those food products you see listed there, they say pieces of wood may have become embedded in the corn dog batter. The USDA says at least 5 injuries have already been reported. The corn dog and sausage on the stick products were sold online or at grocery stores across the nation, and sales date back to March to September of this year. The products were also sold to some school districts and food service companies as well. If you happen to have these packages sitting in your fridge or freezer, Hillshire simply says, toss them, get rid of them.
They're probably low-key telling you the stuff's not good to eat anyways. You know what I mean? Probably. You probably shouldn't eat those anyways.
Well, a recall alert this morning. The U.S. Food and Safety Inspection is recalling corn dogs and sausage on a stick products. So you'd see these products here on your screen. The Hillshire Brands company says there may be pieces of wood embedded in the batter. The corn dogs were packaged between March 17th and September 26th of this year, and they may be in your home freezer or even your school freezer. So make sure to check those. Food safety officials say to throw these products away or return them.
Right? And let's just let's go down here. Hum da dum da dum. And then they give all the details, right? I'm not here to give you a detailed uh details of the whole story here. I'm a decoder. I'm not going to connect myself to these stories in detail. Know what I'm saying? I show you what I see and I decode it. Every time I think of Tyson, I think of Mike Tyson. But I can't just off the dome think about any connections with him. I'll still pull him up and take a look, right? Man, he was if he was 58 years old, that would have hit really heavy. He's 59. That's why you look at this stuff with the language, man. Because look how close that was. 58 million pounds. And Mike Tyson, age 59. That's really... that's close, huh? That would have been a nice connection right there. That would have been a nice connection right there with the baddest man on the planet, Iron Mike. So interesting, right? So, the stuff is going to be repetitive, but it is what it is. I'm not doing this for entertainment purposes. I want to do my part in showing that we get these news stories and they're scripted, right? And they all vary, you get a corn dog recall, we get deaths that we got to deal with, fake sports, fake race divide stories. And this stuff influences people, you know. They watch the news, they read these stories, they don't understand that they get programmed. And that's exactly how programming works, you know. It's just so I'm trying to anti-program. So, you know, this stuff is all scripted by a pattern. With the language, it appears 58 million pounds of corn dogs and sausage on a stick products recalled because wood pieces may be inside. Get rid of them anyways. You know what I mean? They're probably trash. Besides that, until next time.